Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Yes, again, the beautiful reminder that we get to choose. Yes, you do, I do, we all do. Remember, everything is fundamentally meaningless. Everything just is. What somebody says, what somebody does, what you've done, the outcomes, everything, what's in your room, all of it is fundamentally meaningless. And you, me, all of us have been given the gift to give meaning to all of it. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. And with the use of that power to choose good thoughts, great thoughts, magnificent thoughts, you can change the trajectory of your life like that, provided you've made the change inside. See, again, here's another reference to application, baby, right? It's one thing to know about it, it's a completely different thing to use it and apply it. And this is what we're hoping for you. This is what we're hoping that you engage with yourself, that you shift that inner narrative and rid yourself of the limitation that's been buried deep in you that you didn't even know was there, but now are becoming aware of, because we want you to realize that power. So, with that, we want to say thank you. We're so happy that you're here, that you're taking time to invest in yourself here in this. Remember, you're not spending anything, you're actually investing in yourself, revitalizing your mind, or nourishing your mind. You know, a lot of people, when they think of nourishment, they only think in terms of their body when it comes to food and water, but what about their mind? See, that's actually the most important thing for you to nourish. And here is a wonderful place for you to do that. So we hope that you are engaging with this magnificent feast, because it is a feast. Now, make sure you have your goal card. Okay, wave it up. Don't underestimate the power of this. This is very, very important. This is something that can help you dramatically if you'll be emotionally involved with the idea. Remember, this is something in your unseen reality. The way that this will become a material fact is if you love it. Remember what Charles Haanel shared in the Master Key System. The law of attraction is dependent on the law of vibration. The law of vibration is dependent on the law of love. Okay, the law of love. And with that being said, if you will fall in love with this idea, become one with it, be loyal to this unseen reality, guess what will happen? It'll start taking shape in your outer world. It'll start taking form, provided you stay synced with it. Now, I repeat that a lot on purpose because I want you to get that. With that being said, this is what we're hoping for you. So again, make sure you have one of these. If you don't have one of these, if you'd like one of these yourself from what we've made, then just click on the link that we provide you so where you can get some, or you can make your own on an index card. But these are pretty cool. They come in a beautiful plastic sleeve, which is pretty awesome. Carry it with you. And also make sure you have a copy of this if you'd like to read along with what we're sharing, exactly page for page, word for word. You can get this on Amazon as well. And this here is amazing, incredible. You know, I love talking about Charles Haanel. Um, he's beautifully impacted my life. And isn't it amazing how he put forth the work? And now, how many, over 100 years later, I know this is in our hands, and that's pretty freaking great, right? And so, anyways, with regards to Charles Haanel, the thing that I really want to emphasize is the importance and his influence over most of what you see in the personal development world. You know, Napoleon Hill wrote a letter to this guy to give him credit. Literally, his words were this: I must give credit where credit is due. And the statement was is that Charles, you're the one that's responsible for all the stuff that I wrote. It was your influence that did that. Now, notice it wasn't Andrew Carnegie. It was this. This is who he wrote the letter to. This is who you need to really study and dive into, which is pretty awesome. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's go into tapping into this power of the mind. And where we are is what we went over previously in the last session, and I want to go over it again. Why? Because it's freaking important. It's massively important. So, in terms of the page, we're on page 232. Now, here in 21, there was a statement in section 22 which refers to Father and I are one. Father meaning the universe, meaning God, okay? Whatever you believe, they're the same. It's that energy source of which you are a part of. Remember, you are not something that's, you know, looking at the universe or anything. You're actually part of it. You have access to all of it. And here he was referring to how the Father and I are one, meaning you and me and all of us are one. That the Father is the universal mind, the creator, the original substance from which all things proceed. Remember, it's an intelligence that you are connected with. It's just a matter of whether or not you're aware of it. And what's beautiful is the more you dive into what we're sharing, and then the more you start to use it, the more you'll start to see that. Now, again, grab onto that. You and the Father are one. The Father and I are one. Father meaning God, the universe. Now, here, when you dive into this and tap into it, he goes further. Now, admitting that this is all true in theory, and it has been taught for 2,000 years, it's been taught longer than that, and is the essence of every system of philosophy or religion. Now, how, though, are we to make it practical in our lives? See, this right here is the big thing. Now, the personal development world has unfortunately created a culture of information gatherers. I've been saying this for a long time, and this is something that I've been very, very vocal about. A culture of information gathering. There's so many people who know the information, but their results don't reveal that they understand it. Remember, it's through understanding that you are able to transfer it. But with that being said, the only way you understand is through application, is through the practical use. This is why we close every single call with what's the golden rule? Application, baby. That's where it's at. It's not about knowing it. I don't give a shit about what you know. What you know doesn't matter. What matters is what you understand. In all thy getting, get understanding. And see, this is where practice comes into play. Now, with that, he goes again to ask that question: how are we to make it practical in our lives? How are we to get the actual, tangible results here and now? By the way, isn't that what you're after? Nod your heads. Yes, right? This is what you're seeking. So here he points out, in the first place, we must put our knowledge into practice. I want you to write this in the book above this. I must put my knowledge into practice. You've got to use it. If you don't use your knowledge, it will stay as something that's stored in the vast storehouse that you have of information. And remember that information, that knowledge is not power. Even this, what we're sharing with you, is not power. It doesn't have any power in itself. Knowledge does not have any power in itself. Knowledge is potential power. The only way that the knowledge becomes power is when it's applied. So you've got to actually engage with it. You got to do what Robert Collier shares in his beautiful book here of The Secret of the Ages. What does he say? He says, life is not static. Life is not passive. Think about information. Information is passive, it's static. With that being said, that's how most people live their lives unknowingly. They have the habit of collecting the information. They go from one book to another one, to another one, to another one. Oh, I have all this knowledge, but then the results don't change. Why? Because they haven't made it dynamic. In other words, there's got to be movement inside in order for there to be movement on the outside. And if you're just collecting it and knowing it as, wow, that's really kind of cool. I like it, really amazing. But then you don't use it, I got news for you. Your results will not change. They will not change. So you've got to put your knowledge into practice. Now, here's something really